are irresistible, undeniable, and have hosted the last 4 AFC Championship games. Welcome to the Indiana Chiefs Fan Podcast, where we talk about our favorite team, the Kansas City Chiefs. I am Golden Jay, and with me is 3-time podcast favorite. Yes, that's right. It is Chico Noise, and also one-time podcast host, our friend Phil Jordan. We call him the Chief. Gentlemen, what is going on?
Same old.
I don't know. I can't stop watching football, even though it's preseason. I've watched many games this week over and over. Not only the Chiefs, but many other games because I'm excited. Season's almost here. That's all I can think about right now.
Listen, I absolutely love football, and I've loved football for a long time now. This is the first season that I have spent so much time studying everything going on because we are now doing this podcast. So I know shit now that I had never even thought about, and especially right now going into in another week. So by the time this actually airs, they'll actually be down to the 53-man roster. But right as we speak right now, they just broke the 80-man roster. And I've learned so much of kind of what their, the whole scenario might be, whether they keep 3 running backs or 2 running backs and 4 tight ends, or how many of the line, and how many defensive line, how many linebackers. I'm full of information that I don't know how to spiel back out into the world of podcasting. So I'm enjoying taking it all in, but man, it is a lot to really consider. And it's not something I've ever considered before. Usually it's like, oh, the start of the season, this is our roster, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Never really thought about what the details going into dropping from an 80-man roster and cutting 27 players to get down to 53.
And hopefully, some of the ones that get cut that we want to keep on the practice squad don't get swallowed up. It happens every year. And on the same token, we swallow up some of the other players to bring to our practice squad, or even maybe the 53-man roster. You never know.
Right.
What's the saying? One man's garbage is another man's treasure. I mean, I hate to put it that way, but it's kind of the way it works in the NFL.
Well, here's the problem with Kansas City right now. We have very little garbage. The problem is that you have all these great wide receivers, and 3 or 4 of those guys are going to get cut.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be Fountain or Copeland, because of the line in front of them with Juju and Sky Moore and MVS. These great receivers that we've acquired since we lost Tyreek. And these guys who are really good, I mean, maybe not elite, but they're really good, are going to either go down the practice squad or get swallowed up by another team like Oakland or Miami or something like that. It's great for them because they're going to get a shot to play someplace else.
Yeah, Miami spent all their money.
So did Denver, from my understanding.
I don't know, what were we at cap space last?
0.1, I think it was the last time I seen anything on it. So I mean, it may have adjusted since then, with what Sheldon coming in and a couple more of those defensive guys. So Gunnar, what's your take on all of this? How much have you been watching and looking into all this?
Just to go back even just to receivers, like you said, we have such a big lineup on receivers, and even the guys that aren't our top 4 are looking good, but you have more who is just on fire, even at training camp. And I haven't really watched a whole lot of preseason, but I've seen some highlights, and he just looks good.
Yeah.
And Juju, obviously, who's been somebody that everybody's had their eyes on. But I don't even know who else do we have up there besides those two. You know, they're probably gonna be there. They're probably gonna stay.
Those guys are definitely staying. MBS is definitely going to stay. Oh, let's
Well,
see.
we've
I'm
already.
drawing a blank.
I was saying we already cut 3 wide receivers.
Hmm.
Bayless. I
Yeah.
don't remember the other two, to be honest. Bayless was the only one that I could remember as a name.
Right. It's, I don't know. We're if they possibly keep 6 receivers, Justin Watson's going to be number 5, and the 6th one then is going to be either Fountain, Copeland, or there was a 3rd one and I cannot think of his name right off the top of my head, but there's like, so the other 4 are MBS, Juju, Sky, and who's the 4th one?
Hardman or not?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah,
Hardman.
thinking
Exactly.
Cranium.
Sorry.
Took a second to remember who we lost.
Yeah. So your top 4 are those 4, and then Justin Watson had such a great outing against Washington. He pretty much, secured up that 5th spot. If they even keep 6, that's another question in general too. So
well, that's also with the tight end position. You got Noah Gray and the other gentleman. Gosh, what's his name?
it is actually Fortson. Jody Fortson is the other tight end.
Yeah, that
Noah
was
Gray, and obviously Travis Kelce.
Yeah, and he was converted from a wide receiver
right
to a tight end. He scored both touchdowns. That do we keep 3 wide or 3 tight ends?
And that's just it.
You got a converted wide receiver with the body of a tight end. Come on. To me, that's almost a no-brainer. But do you keep 3 of them?
In my mind, I think you keep them because let's take a look at our running game, and our running game is going to be Edwards-Helaire. He's going to be our number 1. Pachenko is the pot. Yeah, I know
you got to say it.
No, I'm not going to do it. Number 2 is Isaiah. They're kicking around him as number 2.
Yeah.
And then that leaves McKinnon as number 3. And the whole thing with Derek Gore going out on IR with a broken thumb,
season ending, right?
They say that it's going to be a season ending, which is actually going to play in for Derek Gore, I think, better because he just gives him a chance to heal. He's going to go down to the practice squad or be on IR, but he's going to be still part of the team. And let's face it, come on, I love my Chiefs, but Helaire is injury prone. He's constantly, on the injury list,
Well,
so it gives him a chance somewhere down the line, say, later in the season, if he can get that thumb healed up and get back into shape, then maybe he's going to have a chance to come back in.
Not that I'm knocking him, but in the preseason, he hasn't looked explosive at all.
Gore?
No, not Gore.
Helaire.
Gore didn't look good either, but
Gore did not look good.
Helaire, he didn't. To me, I'm not, I'm used to these running backs getting, 8 to 10 yards, a run, which Hilaire's not that type of back, in my opinion, but that's just me.
We've had such great backs over the years with Jamal Charles and Priest Holmes, and even Larry Johnson when he was in really good shape and there was a damn good running back. We've kind of missed that. And we talked about this a couple pods ago about how excited I was about the running back crew.
Mm-hmm.
And over these last 2 games, they're not getting anywhere. I was listening to another podcast that was discussing that. And, with Pachenko, he's still a rookie and he's still learning.
Yeah.
Helaire has no excuses. And they're saying these guys are missing some pretty good sized holes that offensive line is opening up. And I won't disagree. You've got to get in there and you've got to have fast vision. That's a brutal position to play, and whether it even be mental or physical.
I mean, don't get me wrong on play action when he's out, doing catching a pass, he's awesome. Up the middle,
Yep.
stuff like that. I've never been impressed, but that's just me. I'm hoping we see better flashes once the real season starts. I did like who's our fullback? I can't remember his name.
Burton.
Yeah, he's they got him the ball a few times to get first downs and stuff like that. It looked good. So I'm just hoping they're just laying low right now. Let's not get injured. Let's just go through the motions, and then real season hits, and we're hitting the right holes
right
that are open, and we're moving forward. And like you said, there's hopefully less injury this year. And with Gore going down, then maybe there's an opportunity when all the cuts are done that there's a good back out there that could be a third or a fourth
right
option.
We won't know until we get into, well, once that 53 hits, and we'll know where we stand. So
then you got to wait through the pecking order and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff, and we're pretty low on the totem pole until everyone starts getting their picks in, and obviously we'll move up the chain.
Right. It is gonna be fun. Like I said, I've seen more this season than I've ever really dug into before. Usually I'm just waiting for the first game. I'm like most football fans, the preseason is, not really, something that everybody watches and looks forward to. But for me this year, the preseason is way more important so that I can get a chance to see these guys and get a chance to talk to you guys about them.
And then on the defensive side, was it that defensive end? Gosh, I keep forgetting the guy's name. I should learn it by now.
Karlofsky?
Yes.
Karloftis. Yeah.
Karloftis.
That guy is a machine. I mean,
2 games, 2 sacks. I mean, you gotta love it.
So funny story. What school did he go to? Do you recall?
He went to Purdue.
So the neighbor, the bread man.
Okay, yeah. Which I dove into a little bit ago.
His sister was up, and she's like, I see you're a Chiefs fan. I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, I am now a Chiefs fan because she is a Purdue alumni, and we drafted
George.
him. Yeah, and
George.
she has been a huge fan of him all through his career in college. So she's now going to be following the Chiefs for that reason.
Right on.
And I told her, I was like, man, this guy, he looks like the real deal. I'm impressed, to say the least.
On that sack during the Washington game, it was double team coming off of the line,
turned back around,
and the motor never stopped. It was just go, and then he finally got there. But I mean, obviously that's that also flows into the safeties and the corners always all having good coverage and stuff like that, which slows down the quarterback so he's not getting the ball out of his hand.
Which surprisingly, Snead surprised me in preseason. He's been playing well because he's always been my Achilles heel on that,
right.
DBs. I mean, if you're going to burn someone, it's typically Snead. I hate to say it. I mean, that's just my opinion, but in preseason, go on one-on-ones with the first teams, he's been keeping his own, he defended quite a few deep passes, and, hopefully that play continues.
Well, and they say that he's in the best shape, coming out of last year and the injury and all that. He's in really good shape and really ready to go. And I think a lot of those guys are looking at the fact that they have to fill in that Tyrann Matthews spot, and you lose a lot when you lose a player like that.
Have you been paying attention to the rookies? I really haven't on the defense, to be honest.
Trent McDuffie has not had a single pass thrown in his direction.
I wonder if that's by design or just
your guess is as good as mine. I don't imagine that You know, when Phil's smiling, looking down, and you hear a zipper, it really worries me.
About to hurt his elbow again.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't think it was I don't really think it's by design, but
That's just weird. I did not realize that.
yeah, they were talking about it this week, and how the fact that nobody's really challenged him to see what he can or cannot do. So he must be like a blanket. That's all I can say. He's got it covered.
Yeah. I mean, I was impressed also just in general that, we kept our first team in for, pretty much the first half.
Close, yeah.
Pretty close. Yeah. I mean, I was impressed, years ago, they play one series and done, Andy Reid said this year, no, we're playing. So, I always worry about the injury bug. You see all these injuries across multiple teams, that season ending for major players, not, your second or third stringers. So,
right.
It's the only thing that always worries me. But you know what? I think it gets you better game prepped. You got more conditioning, you got pads on, you're hitting, you're running, you're catching, you're defending, I like it. But again, I still worry about the injury bug.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's an all season thing though, too. You're constantly worried about, whether Travis Kelce's going to get back up after that big hit, or, did Mahomes take one at the ankles, and is he all right? Those things are just a nonstop.
Let me rephrase it. You get a second stringer in there trying to make a name for himself, hitting a major player, that's what I'm alluding to. Not
right on.
Injuries are going to happen, but I hate to see someone, do something not necessarily malicious, but hey, it's preseason, let's not, take a guy's head off or leg off, That's what I worry about.
But you said it. I mean, those guys are trying to fill one of those spots. They're trying to show that they can be aggressive and they can hit hard, and
and oh my God, the refereeing early on in this season has been very questionable in my mind, and multiple games. I mean, I even told the wife, and I don't remember which play it was. The call went, we did something, or something happened, and I looked at my wife and I was like, I agree with that call. Or I said, I disagree with that call. Sorry. And she's like, why? We got a first down. I'm like, because it's not right. That's not what happened. And I don't remember the exact play. I'm a fair person. I want everything to be.
That was that pass interference or whatever. It was some sort of call that was made that was they called it a phantom call. I can't remember. I think it was a pass interference call.
Yeah, something like that. And I told the wife, I was like, no, I said, I don't like this. Even though it helped our team, I don't like it. I want it to be open. I want it to be right. I want it to be fair. And, I've watched quite a few games, and I know it's preseason for them too. I get it. But I just hope it doesn't carry over into the regular season.
Well, it's going to carry over into the playoffs.
Oh, shit.
Every year, that. It's insane.
Well, I'm just saying, they got emphasis this year on receiver contact after 5 yards, which I think is good. Don't get me wrong, but there's going to be calls against us. So we're going to be like, what the hell? They didn't call it, or there's going to be a call against our defense where he's on the 4-yard line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to go both ways, but I heard they're really putting an emphasis on not allowing contact after 5 yards, unless, of course, the quarterback's out of the pocket, right? So
right on.
I think that works in our favor a lot because we have speed, we have Mahomes, but I think it could also work against our defense. So because that's their point of emphasis this year.
Yeah, because if you look back at all of our DBs and corners and all that, they are a high contact down the field team for sure.
They're taking your wallet out of your back pocket, mugging the hell out of you.
Gunner lost his watch.
So what are they calling that penalty then? Just
illegal contact. Yeah, 5 yards, automatic first down, I think. But still, I heard it on, I think it was the first Chiefs game or maybe the second one, that was a point of emphasis this year. So, and you know what the other call was? It was, I don't remember which quarterback was playing in our game at the time, but he slid at the very last millisecond. and the DB had to just pull off, and he couldn't. He's going full speed.
Right.
When you drop and some guy's running 15 miles an hour and he's one step away, how do you avoid that hit?
That's a good question.
I mean, I understand player safety. I get it. I don't want Mahomes to get hit that way, but slide early.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was another call where I told the wife, I was like, I don't agree with roughing the passer because the defensive guy is going to get hurt. If he tries to pull up, he can pull something,
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And if that's our defensive guy, we might lose him. So there's just those little caveats when I'm watching these games with refs and different calls and quarterbacks, unfortunately taking that right at the last millisecond, I don't like it.
Yeah, well, if you're still standing up and he's a half step away, then you basically giving yourself up to be hit. So I mean, yeah, I agree. Slide when you I mean, if you're going for the first down, then take the hit like a man. But
yeah.
Not that I'm going to take that hit like a man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you know what I'm saying. But
yeah,
if you're gonna fight for that first down as a quarterback on the run, then be
Go
prepared
forward.
to be hit. Yeah.
Yeah, go forward. Don't slide.
Yep.
And again, I don't want anybody to get hurt, defense or offense, but there's just some of those things that when I'm watching games that preseason, regular season, and I sit there, I'm like, man, how do you stop? How do you stop when you're going that fast?
Well, the one call that I can think of in that Washington game was against our defense, and it was a roughing the passer. And I don't remember who it was. Was it Sheldon maybe that come up and
oh, he hit him square in the chest.
Yeah, in the chest.
Yeah.
And
they
called
said
him
neck. Oh, that was bullshit. But you know what? About the next series, I think he sacked his ass. If you recall.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, literally, like you said, he got him right here.
Well,
right
and
there.
I mean, he had just released the ball when he did hit him, and it wasn't a malicious hit. I mean,
Nope.
He basically pushed him, and yeah, we need to really settle in on this, and as much as I don't like the time it takes to do instant replay, these are the things that we need to be looking at a little bit closer, and maybe reviewed by New York before they go ahead and mark off the 15 yards in any direction. So
yeah, it's just something I noticed,
Yeah.
Good point though. I do remember that play, and I was looking at the wife. I was like, what the hell kind of call was that?
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm a Chiefs fan. I watched other games with similar plays, and I said the same thing. So, I know everyone's out there, if it's fourth down, 2 yards to go and you get a roughing the passer call, you're happy as shit, but was it the right call, I don't get me wrong. I'd rather win a game than lose it, but I'd rather win it the right way.
Yeah, exactly. I've watched a lot of football where I just look at Bobby and be like, yeah, I don't know that was pass interference, even though it wasn't our favor,
Yeah. So
you take it and you kind of just cringe and you think, oh, I hope nobody else is watching this to blow me shit next time. Like, yeah, you guys won that game over a bad call. Those are my favorites.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said I figured I'd throw in the refs because we really haven't talked about them at all in preseason. So,
and we
figured it was worth a mention.
We probably won't talk about them much during regular season either until we have that one bad call. I keep thinking back to that whole D Ford offsides thing though.
No, before that, the phantom roughing the passer where no one even touched freaking Tom Brady. It wouldn't even mattered if D Ford was offsides.
Well, I remember, and I'd like to maybe if I can go find a snapshot of that. I mean, he really was a whole shoulder length over the line when he was lined up. If you look at it down the line,
yeah,
which you can take it as a good call, bad call, whatever. But
it was the right call.
That dude should have known where he was supposed to be lined up, and he's trying to get a step on it. I understand all that, but
no, he was
every
offsides.
time I think of that, that's what I think about is that That call right there.
Well, I think of the Phantom call that gave him the first down on 3rd and 12 or whatever
Right.
in the hell it was,
Because they like,
and would
they-
that play have ever happened? Right. You know what I
well,
mean?
that's true.
So
Yeah.
that's what I think about.
Oh yeah. The beloved 4-time AFC championship hosts.
Hosts, not 4-time AFC championship winners in a row. We're 2 for
No,
2, ladies and
2 for 2.
gentlemen. So
We'll take it though. I mean,
it
you
takes
know,
a
all
lot to
those-
get there.
all those years of just hoping to win a playoff game, let alone get into the AFC championship. I remember the last AFC championship before Mahomes got there. And I do believe that was Joe Montana and Marcus Allen that got him there.
Yeah.
The last time we was in the AFC championship game.
I thought we lost the game prior to the AFC championship game. We had a first round bye, and then we lost the next game. I don't think we made it there.
I'm gonna go back and research that. I was thinking the first year
No.
Joe was there, they got him to the AFC championship game.
I don't think so.
All right.
I could be wrong. Again,
Nope.
this is our opinion.
That's right. That's right. That's what it's all about.
And I don't Google anything during the show like
I
Jeremy
do.
is right now. I can see him Googling.
Yep.
So what do you
Go
think,
ahead.
Gunner? What do you think?
What do I think about that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did Joe Montana get us to the AFC championship game? I don't remember.
I have no clue. You know, if I would go back and watch all that Joe Montana documentary on Peacock, I'm sure they show all of that.
Yeah. Hey, that reminds me. I got to put that on my watch list.
Yeah, you do.
Well, and the thing is that you can watch like the first episode for free. Then you have to actually get a subscription to watch anything more than that. And I think there's for the Joe
Right.
Montana thing.
Which channel?
Peacock.
Peacock.
Oh, I already have it, so I'm good.
Oh, you already have Peacock?
Yeah. I want to see your Peacock.
Wow. Wow, that's terrible.
The other one is that franchise. It's called The Franchise on YouTube, and they
You
started.
talking
a new
about the
season.
Chiefs franchise?
Yeah.
So I think I mentioned this before. Is I listened to the entire series on our first trip down to Kansas City. By the way,
Yeah.
I turned them on episode 1 and just let it play for hours.
It's so good. They start that first episode off and introduce you to McDuffie, and they show him
Mhm.
going out to
Oh yeah.
barbecue place.
Yeah.
And then they get into training camp, and then the second episode it ends with preseason, the Bears game, and it's just cool to watch. You guys see all the background stuff that they're doing. You know, was it Reed and Karloftis playing chess or something? Episode 2, like it's the things they do while they're at training camp. Yeah, and
Who do you
what
room
they're
with? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think they room
Okay.
there. I think the dorm they were in, they were all in their own rooms.
A lot of times
'Cause-
they double up just for buddy system.
Yeah, because they the security guys at the start of the second episode had like bobcats in the rooms, and they had a speaker behind them. So when they walked in, they turned the lights on, they started playing the sound and the bobcats, and they had video cameras hidden. And it was
Waking
scaring the
them
crap
up.
out of 'em. Yeah, it was
Oh,
scaring
you
the
know,
crap out of 'em.
I seen that on one of the Facebook pages that they were doing.
Yeah, it's pretty
So-
funny.
So I can literally say that happened to me in 1990 when I joined the Army. We went to
Oh,
bed
yeah.
at 2 a.m. and they woke us up at 4:30 with trash can lids and flashing
Jesus.
lights and strobe lights. And yeah, we were like, what the hell is happening? One guy fell out. I mean, he passed out. He was done.
Dang.
Yeah. So been there, done that. But yeah,
Yeah.
to your point, maybe I should watch it this year instead of listen to it.
You should. It's really good. I mean, just all the shots they get, and you just see a lot of Kansas City, especially for us that we haven't seen.
Because that was
Obviously, you probably-
Mitch Holtis, right? And
It's
or do
pres-
they have
it's
they have a different team?
It's
Okay.
GEHA. So they go through, and I think they sponsor the whole thing, and they send out a crew. But they use a lot of Mitch audio. They use a
Okay.
lot of radio audio. Just tons of different things they're doing. So
Nice. So did you get the answer? Golden. Jay?
No, I'm still working on it. Go ahead. You guys are doing a great job.
we're doing.
So no, I'm definitely, maybe I will watch it because like I said, normally I queue up all of the podcasts, from the draft to preseason, and I just let it play in the car just to, for that well, 8-hour drive if I were driving by myself, 10 hours with the wife. So,
Yeah.
and as uh, Jeremy can attest to, if I'm not listening to that, it is stuck on NFL Network, the entire ride.
That's a lot of NFL Network.
Yeah, it is.
It is, but maybe I'll switch it up this year. I'll do 4 hours NFL Network and 2 hours or 4 hours ESPN.
There
Really
you go.
switching it
There you
up.
go.
No, I like the Godfather on those shows. He's just amazing insight into all these players.
Yeah.
Gil, gosh, what's his last name? Brandt or something like that.
Right on.
But yeah, he's man. When he's on the radio or on NFL Network, I tune in. The guy's great. He reminds me of Madden, basically.
Yeah.
He's so knowledgeable about the game, the
Yep.
players. And he'll talk about a coach, a player, that was in the league in like 1971. He'll tell you exactly everything. I mean, he's to me, another Madden type person.
Yeah.
So never heard him. I highly suggest it.
Those are the announcers you like to hear because they're just so when they're so knowledgeable that they can tell you everything about a player while they're doing a play and be done with what
Mhm.
they're talking about. 'Cause
Yeah,
they
and
just
he'll
know it.
and he'll name a random town, like where do you guys live, or a small town near you guys. Just say Marion that has population 800. He's like, yeah, I've been there before. I mean, it's like because the guy traveled around the U.S. Because back then you took buses everywhere.
Yep.
So he's been to almost every small town, and because he'll ask the person.
Well, I'm sure
Is
when
it-
they were taking buses, they were taking 30, so they probably hit all of Indiana at some point.
Yeah, just giving an example of just his
Yeah.
breadth of knowledge, and
Yeah.
I can only aspire to have a quarter of that knowledge in my head. I would look like I'm a genius. Instead, I got like one, I don't know, 64th of his knowledge, if that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Jeremy wouldn't be looking this up.
It's true, but I did find it.
Did he?
I'm sorry it took so long. It really is wading through a lot of information. So listen, 1993, the 1993-94 NFL season, when Joe Montana went to Kansas City, he took them to the playoffs, wild card game against Pittsburgh, which they won. It was at Arrowhead. Divisional game against the Houston Oilers. They won 28-20. And then they played an AFC championship game at Buffalo where they lost 13-30. That was the 93-94. Now 94-95, they lost the wild card game to Miami.
Okay. That's probably what I'm thinking.
And I just had I don't know if you could see it in the video. I had this really hard hit to my head as a memory from that game, because we were playing a bar in Syracuse. It was, I think I have to look again, but I'm pretty sure it was New Year's Eve. Let me make sure I got this right here. Yeah, December 31st at Miami. They lost 17-27 at Joe Robbie. My lead singer, guitar player, was a huge Dolphin fan, and I had to spend the entire evening in Miami gear while we played.
Oh, wow.
And that hurt. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh God, I remember that night. Oh, that was terrible. I had to get really, really drunk, and I threw up in the parking lot.
I'd be throwing up. I had to wear Miami gear too, regardless if I drink or not.
I was trying to get drunk to forget about it, but yeah, it didn't really work out. But yeah, so in the 93-94 season, Joe and Marcus took him to the AFC championship game.
And I think that was our last playoff win for like 20 years or
Yes.
some god awful about it. 12 years, 14
Yep.
years. I don't remember.
Yeah, because you think the next year we lost that Miami game, and then I can't remember, Joe retires.
Yeah.
I can't remember a win in the playoffs until Alex did it in 2017, 2016, somewhere in there.
All I know is we had one of the longest droughts of any team in the playoffs of having getting a win.
Yep.
So I don't know if it was a record, but I know it was pretty high up there.
Yeah, insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
A couple other things I'd like to touch on. So we talked about Gore being out. You guys did hear about Blake Bell, the hip injury or whatever that he had. They have a specific name for it, and I can't think of it. But the hip dysplasia. He actually, it's worse than they thought. He had to have surgery, so he is out for the season. He's done. Which once again plays back into that whole 3 or 4 tight end roster. So you know that he's not going to be there, so that kind of opens it up for Fortson and Gray and yeah, the other one.
Yeah, that was that probably no contact, right, in the first preseason game, as I recall.
They said he come down. They think he came down funny when he caught that touchdown.
Yeah,
and he just landed on it wrong, and then he went out and played, and once again, then that's when it was a no contact. It just kind of caught him, and boom, down he went. So, best, speedy recovery to Bell, and he's a great tight end. He's a great blocking tight end. If nothing, I mean, he's got great hands, and he's he does really good for us. Hopefully he can get recovered and maybe he'll be back, but they're saying it's season ending right now. So,
well, at least it happened. I mean, unfortunate, but it happened early, and we've seen some good play out of the other tight ends right now. So
yeah,
let's just say this happened week 3. We could have gotten rid of someone that could have taken his place more efficiently, right?
Right.
Versus what's left out there, right? If we let these guys go, they get swallowed up. So unfortunately, it's a win-lose, but
right.
I'm not happy to see him injured by any stretch, but
right.
At least they can give closer looks at these other tight ends.
Right, exactly, and give them a spot to fill that spot. So if that's what they decide to do. Did you guys see that Patrick Mahomes was actually inducted into the Texas Tech Hall of Fame? Nice. Did you happen to see the
video?
I did. You see the video of him when they took him out on the Chiefs field after the Washington game and had it up on the Chiefs scoreboard, the whole big video, and him standing there, it looked like I thought he was going to break down there for a minute, but he held it back. He did a fine job of just kind of holding it in, but it definitely looked really emotional, and he's standing there holding his daughter, and it was just it was a really cool video. If you haven't seen it, then you should go check it out.
So I read the article. I saw the picture, that was headlining the article, but I did not see the video. So I'll go back and watch it.
I just watched it just about 2 hours ago. I was leaping through.
Gotcha. No, I mean, congratulations. I mean, well-deserved, obviously. One day he'll be in the Chiefs Ring of Honor.
I'm sure. Definitely. So. Oh, most definitely. Did you happen to read the article about that Sammy Watkins reported that he was asked, he's played with both Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers now, and what was his thought process? Did you happen to look at that article?
I'll be honest, no, unless it was a headline article. Sammy Watkins, I did not read about.
I loved Sammy Watkins when he played in Kansas City. I thought he was, Phil shaking his head. You didn't like Sammy?
No. And you know why?
No.
First 2 games, he's awesome. Next 6 games, he's out. Next two games, he's mediocre. Next 4 games, he's out. Playoffs come, he catches, he does great for the first half, nothing second half. That's just my impression.
That's your opinion.
I mean, come on, the guy was injured more than he played.
Well, I won't disagree. I said the same thing about Allaire. I think he's injured more than he actually plays. But
he was injured even more than Allaire through the seasons. I'm 99% sure on that. And again, this is my opinion. But that's anyway, okay. I'm glad you like
I won't disagree with you. I think he spent 85% of his time on the injured list. So.
Yeah, I mean, I always said at the beginning of the season, first 2 or 3 games, awesome, and then he falls off, gets injured. I mean, that's just
right.
But anyway, go ahead about the article.
He said that he thinks Patrick Mahomes is amazing. He's an amazing quarterback, but Aaron Rodgers is in a league of his own. He said he's never felt so calm and cool going into the huddle as if when he's with Rodgers.
Well,
It's just
but-
interesting, but that's his present quarterback. So, there's always that.
But you realize Rogers goes to all these freaky retreats and, does all the
Him and his hippie hair.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember what he did, but he went to some kind of retreat of some sort. I don't know if it's one of the ones where they go in and throw hot water on you and steam you down or whatever, but
Chico, would you go to one of those?
Yep.
you know what? I'm going to pay for it. I want you to sit in that tent when it's 400 degrees in there for, 12 hours.
Let's do it.
But I don't know what he does. It's something that he believes in, which is great, which probably makes him a very calm person. He does look calm on the field, but I think comparing the two is unfair, just much like Cheetah did. He's got to support his current quarterback,
Right.
current team. I get it. I'm all for it. I mean, whatever.
No, I just thought it was an interesting article.
Let's just say, Rodgers lost all of his receivers. They needed somebody, they plucked him, because he was available.
Right.
But let's see if he makes it halfway through the season. I mean, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb right now. Who wants to take a bet between the two of you? He will be injured before the first 6 games. $1. Our normal bet, $1.
No, I'm good.
Gunner, $1.
I'll go a beer.
Okay, a beer. That by the 7th game, before the 7th game, he's injured.
Okay.
So who's going to keep track of this?
You are.
You are.
I have to keep track of it. So
You're-
every week.
You're the is what we're talking Hardman, right? So you're the
No, we're talking about Sammy Watkins.
oh yeah, Watkins. Sorry.
Not even a Kansas City Chief.
Yeah.
He's a
So-
Green Bay Packer.
So you are the Watson bet commissioner.
Oh,
All
like the
right.
slap bet.
I mean,
commissioner.
again, I hope no one gets hurt, but I'm just going out and saying
Hey,
sometime.
sometimes you just got to look at the trend of the player.
Yeah. So, Gunner, I'll take one of those beers you're drinking week 4, 5, or 6.
Wait, didn't you say week 7? He'll be out by week 7.
No,
Anytime before week 7.
Anytime before
okay.
week 7. So I said, week 4, 5, or 6, I'll be getting
Okay.
that beer.
I'm
I'm
gonna
with you.
just for me to pay attention. I'm probably gonna have to draft him in my fantasy league.
Don't waste your draft pick.
That's the only way you can keep up.
Yeah.
you got
Um,
forgot
Do you
about
have any
Sammy.
room in your fantasy league, or is it full?
We haven't even done drafts yet. So.
No, is it full?
Oh, with people? Yeah, both of them are.
Oh, thanks for nothing.
Yeah, we got big league.
he's not the commissioner, either one of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes he doesn't even play. He just leaves a lineup in there and calls it good.
So let's just.
I'm
So
notorious for last place. So.
I got banned from my work pool fantasy
Oh.
league
Really?
because I won it like 4 years in a row.
Oh, they got sick of you.
Yep. They banned me. They didn't invite me back. I didn't know they had a draft. I was like, seriously? I pinged someone. I'm like, hey, what happened? He's like, oh, we already did the draft. I'm like, what the fudge, man? So I'll be honest. I did 2 leagues before. I'm not doing, I lost interest after that.
Yeah.
To me, it's just tedious, and
Well-
I don't
well,
have
to
the time
me,
for it.
To me, it's DraftKings.
There
let's
you
make,
go.
Let's make some real money right now. All right, go
I-
ahead.
I have a pool of people that let's see. Out of the pool, I don't think any of them actually work there anymore. So, but it's just a friendly bragging rights thing where we just jump on
Yeah.
there and make picks every week. And I always seem to, as long as I can beat the girl that's on there, that's all I care about.
You mean your wife?
No, it's not my wife. It's just a girl that thinks she's a football expert, and she's pretty smart in it. But
So, by the way, if you want to get in a confidence pool, it's $5 a week. Hit up Tracy.
oh, really?
They do a friendly, friends and family
Right.
one. They forgot to send me the invite last week, but now
You
I
gotta-
have.
You got to
Now I
quit
have-
winning.
No, I wasn't even in. they didn't even send me the invite, so I gave them crap in the spring, and I have their numbers. I'll be texting them, hey, where's my sheet? So, but anyway, it is fun to do fantasy leagues for those of you that like to do it. I enjoyed it in the past. I did load my roster here and there with great Chiefs players, among others. So the past 4 years, if you're a Chiefs fan and got the right player at the right time at the right price, you did well.
Right. I think one year Gunner had Gronk, and I think that was his big payout.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and again, it doesn't have to be the Chiefs, but I try to target them because I watch them more than other players. But yeah, if I got Gronk or Brady, whatever,
Yeah.
I was happy. I mean, I had Aaron Rodgers 1 year and Patrick Mahomes, so I have a different strategy on the draft.
Yeah, you see a lot of people that go like, quarterbacks, they could be picked 61, 62, like way late.
I won't do that.
Yeah.
I'll take 2 high-end quarterbacks early. Well, not my first pick, but probably second or third.
Yeah.
Who's your first pick?
A good wide receiver, a good running back usually.
Right on. Just checking. Go ahead.
No, I agree with that. Wide receiver normally for me.
A lot of like your first 3 rounds are mostly running backs, receivers, and then
except unless you're me.
Yeah.
Because I drafted.
A lot of times I'll take the number 1 quarterback in round 3 if nobody's pulled a quarterback yet. That's what I like to do. But
yeah, well, that's a whole different show.
Yeah,
we could do a whole show on fantasy.
Just fantasy.
You guys could. I would just stand here and stare at the screen like on the vanity of it.
I was trying to think of anything else that I saw. I mean, I watched the entire game twice. Like I said, I was impressed, with, most of the plays that we did on, even with the second stringers seemed to do better this week than last. When it came to garbage time, it's garbage time,
Right.
There's not much to see there that I can see because I'm not a coach. But, up till halftime, I thought the Chiefs, whether it be first or second string or even third potentially in there at that time, did well. I was happy with it.
We got some super nice depth this year. And once again, I'm excited because it looks like a balanced team.
Mm-hmm.
We have a good defense, we have a good offense. And I mean, we've had a good offense the last 4 or 5 years, don't get me wrong, but the defense has always been struggling, and now it just looks like our defense is just getting stronger. And super excited about once again, I say this and it's not to upset anybody, but I think that Tyreek leaving Kansas City is the best thing to ever happen to Kansas City, because we get rid of that one play that we kept going back to over and over and over again. And, they figured out how to cover it.
Oh, that one play that says, fuck it, Tariq's back there somewhere.
That's the one. Just throw it. Yeah.
I love that GIF or, picture that people done of that. It just cracks me up.
And, I loved when he was there. Don't get me wrong. But, I think with having more options and, he bumped his arm.
No, when I just did that last arm movement, forgetting my arm is still injured. It gave me a little jolt. Well, I stretched it out pretty good there. So, no, but go ahead.
I just think it's it's going to be better for us in the long run to have all those options and be able to spread it around the field and do all that stuff. I'm excited about it. I'm excited for the offense and all that.
Did you listen to the announcers say that, Mahomes on his first and second series threw to 6 different receivers, I believe, in both games?
Yeah.
So not 1 target, but 6 in 2 series. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I didn't see any super deep balls. They were the, 25-yard pass here and there, so first, I think we're going to keep the defenses honest, meaning, hey, you got to cover 3 or 4 people and a running back.
Right.
And then they're going to surprise them, send Hardman, Juju, whoever, run them back down, 25, 30 yards. What was that one play? Matter of fact, that was our long play where our guy was so wide open, it was ridiculous. He had to turn around. He was standing there by himself. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I missed that one. Unfortunately, I was at the campground watching it on my phone. I was all huddled around, and that's where I was watching it on. So I didn't.
It was a blown coverage, something, and the guy was literally all alone. And it might have been the second stringers by then, but it was still. I was like, how the hell did he become so wide open? But regardless, I agree totally. Having 3 or 4 receivers, 5 receivers, depending on the lineup, versus 2 to 3, I think that's a genius. I mean, we don't need to, like you said in previous podcasts, throw 50-yard ball every
time,
every other series, right?
Yeah.
To stay in the game, and that gives you clock management.
Yep.
Gives you the ability to run the clock out on people and know that you're going to score anyway. I'm good with it. I do expect to see, 25 to 35 range passes. Constantly, but not 50 to 60.
Yeah, I mean, you have great receivers who know how to handle themselves after they have the ball in their hand. So, a 15-yard throw could turn into a 40, 50-yard gain.
The great yak.
That's right. So, why not use those? Do what?
Yards after catch.
Yeah. Yak. My wife one day, we were watching the game, and she's like, why do they keep saying yak? And I was like, "Hun, that stands for yards after catch." And she's
because
like,
there's one on the field, honey. Do you see him? And now for a yak.
That's not a yak. That's just the homeless guy from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
There's that homeless guy again from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I love him.
And bam, there it is.
He needs to wash his hair. But yeah.
But I agree with you guys. Yards after catch is key, right? Hell, like you said, a 5-yard pass can be 15 or 30 or touchdown. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we need.
Look at Kelsey, man. His yak average is going to be astronomical.
Are you looking at Kelsey's yak?
Man's got a big yak. Needs to wash a chair.
Oh my gosh. Jeremy's losing it.
No,
I mean,
insane.
He's just one of those players that always pushes and pushes and pushes. Being a tight end, that's impressive to me all the time.
He has got, if you ever watch him, he catches the ball and then his vision is just amazing. He's that sidestep, the juke this way, and he knows when to make that turn and go the other direction. And before you know it, he's ran 20 yards and it's funny because he knows when he's done. He knows that when he gets to that spot,
he goes down.
Yeah. He's not gonna take the big hit, and that's smart by him. And honestly, I mean, because he's got what he needed, he's got the first down or beyond, and he's not putting himself up there to get hurt, by taking a low hit to the knee or anything like that. He just kind of he gets tackled and he goes down. He's not fighting.
He knows to lower down. He knows to lower it down and take the hit somewhere up high instead of taking it low.
I don't know. I wouldn't. If I were a DB, I would not want to hit Travis Kelce.
No, exactly. Those smaller guys.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder for them to take him down.
I mean, if he's getting past the linebackers at that point, I would take him on and just bulldoze them. They have on my back. I'm bringing this somewhere. It's called the end zone.
What was that? Did a fly just land on me over here? What is that?
Taste that sweet nectar.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So the Washington game was great. It was interesting to look at Washington's defense, first string defense. I mean, those guys are stout, and they're going to be respectable this year as far as what they're going to be able to do. I don't know that Washington's necessarily a playoff team, but their defense is definitely something teams are going to watch out for.
I'll be honest.
They played without Chase Young. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, both teams, in my opinion, that we played are not going to be in the playoffs.
Right.
I'll bet another beer on that one.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get bets on that. Anybody that's a Chicago fan or knows anything about Chicago knows they're not going to be in the playoffs.
Come on, Gunner. I need another beer.
By the time we're done betting, I'm gonna owe you a case.
It's a lot of season.
We're gonna have to start keeping track if we keep doing that. No. I mean, and that's Green Bay. I wish it was week 1 or 2. Even though Green Bay kind of got decimated by players leaving, but at least they have a good quarterback. I agree with that. I just wish it was week 1 or 2 and not 3, because typically by week 3 you're not going to play your starters at all, and if you do, it'll be one series.
Well, I heard rumors that Kansas City won't be playing their starters on Thursday night.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's I would have rather seen them play against Green Bay. Their defense is typically good,
right?
And I think their defense was good last year, so it was the offense I think that was lagging last year, if I recall. But we'll see. I mean, we opened up against Arizona. So,
and I heard Arizona's not really clipping on all cylinders right now. So
yeah, is Kyler? Who the hell's their quarterback now?
Kyler Murray.
Is it still Kyler? Okay, I wasn't sure. There's so many quarterback carousels this year. So
yeah.
I wasn't sure. He's a good quarterback, but it's everything else.
I hear there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of non-trust there going on there. So take that for what it is. Once again, that's my opinion. It's rumored, hearsay. They may all having a love in for all I know, but I heard that they're not firing on all cylinders right now, and so we'll see. Come week 1, we'll know for sure what's going on. So
I'm going to do research on that one, prior to week 1,
right on.
We're going to, because I haven't really spent enough time on the, our upcoming opponents yet. I just kind of want to see where the rosters fall for us,
right?
Where the rosters fall for everyone. And if Beach has one more ace up his sleeve, which he typically does. Once the cuts are done, he typically has something in mind if it falls in place. And I'm kind of excited to see what that might be.
With him, you never know.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's done it almost every year. Picked some random decent player that's turned out to be, an impactful person, be it a veteran or a rookie or whatever. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Well, he's kind of brought it this year, bringing in some of these guys that maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't. Carlos Dunlap is not a household name.
The tires. Tires are.
Good Lord. I fell right into that there, Chico. Did you catch that?
Wait, what?
What?
The tires?
Talk about let's talk about tires. Let's talk about we're gonna have a good year.
Where's Bridgestone? Get him in here.
Hey, we did have Studebaker for a while.
Oh, that we did. We've also had a Ford.
Yes, we did.
What? That must be the homeless guy's last name.
Oh my God. You guys are cracking me up so much. So we've had a Studebaker. We now have tires.
We have tires. We've had
Oh my God. We're so bad.
But
hey, a little humor goes a long way. I always
That's
say.
right.
That's all that matters.
That's right.
But anyway, please wrap up the Dunlap.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we've got a lot. They went out and got a lot of great stuff, just in the off or the after the draft. I mean, what they've done. So, I'm sitting here. I still got this page up from the 93, 94. Is that 94 season? Yeah, the 1994 Kansas City Chiefs season. The draft picks are right here. I'm going to throw a couple of these at you. Are you ready for this? See if you remember any of these names. Are you ready?
Shoot.
Greg Hill.
Yes.
Running back.
Yeah.
Donnell Bennett.
Nope.
He was a running back. I remember him. How about wide receiver from Notre Dame, Lake Dawson?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yep. Chris Penn.
Nope.
Yeah, he was a wide receiver. I remember him.
Didn't he sign the Constitution? I don't know.
Chris Penn. No, he was in wasn't he in like he was an actor. It was in Bad Boys or something, wasn't
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind.
he? No, it's Sean Penn. Come on.
I don't mess with you.
And then the rest of them are pretty much nobody's ever heard of. Tracy Green, Steve Matthews, Anthony. What does that say? I don't Anthony something.
Pikachu.
Yeah. James Burton. Anthony Pikachu. Yeah, that's it. Anyways, I just it's interesting because I was listening to a podcast today. They were talking about name do you remember player? And of course, they ran a few of them, but I kept yelling at my radio, Greg Hill, and then I look over and he was drafted in 94.
How ironic is that?
It's pretty ironic. All right, so I got one more thing to touch on here, and I know I've been kind of we talked about doing this early, but
it's a good thing to end on, I think.
Yeah, let's do that. So as of today, as we record this podcast today, legendary quarterback Len Dawson has passed away, and we talked about it last week about him being in hospice, and like I said there, usually when you go into hospice, it's not for a long term. You knew it was going to be quick, and I do believe I said I hope it would be quick and painless and he would go peacefully. I'm hoping that he did. I haven't heard reports, but yeah, as of today, which is
the 24th of August.
24th of August. Sorry. 2022, Len Dawson passed away. He was 87 years old. And the ironic thing for me was, as I was doing just a little bit of research, he actually was entered into the Hall of Fame, the Canton football, the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton in 1987.
Yeah, I read that as well.
So here's to Lynn. Thank you for all that you ever did for Kansas City. Thank you for all the great games that I've listened to you broadcast over the years when you were doing the broadcasting. I always loved listening to Lynn talk about. I love it when he was like, well, I don't understand why they're doing that.
He was also on that HBO series. Late Hits, or what was the name of it? I can't remember the name of it, but I remember he was on. It was like on there for 5 or 6 years, something like that.
Yeah, he was on there for a long time. Yeah,
I just can't remember. I know it's in some article somewhere, but yeah, he was on HBO.
I used to watch that a lot when I had HBO.
Before you pirated it?
No, actually, before I pirated it. That's fool's gold, baby.
Yeah.
But Lynn is going to be a piece of Chiefs history that's definitely going to be missed, and for all the things that he'd done off the field as well as on the field. So here's to you, Lynn.
Yep. And me personally, I met him twice in my lifetime. The most exciting one was when we met him when we were 9-0 with Trent Green. I don't remember what year that was. Sometime, 2012, 2013 time range, I think. Right before we went to Castle. But yeah, we were 9-0. We signed up to do this ESPN shoot, and we had no idea who was going to be in there. Again, if you're a season ticket holder, you can use these points to do special events. This happened to be a Sports Illustrated shoot, was all it said.
He just about said swimsuit.
Yeah. So
there's pictures of Phil in a Speedo.
There are.
It has a little Kansas City logo.
Little.
Hey, tiny logo.
There are pictures of me in a Speedo, but it's in my high school yearbook when I played water polo.
He's right next to
anyway.
a homeless guy from Cleveland.
For us at the Hall of Fame.
But
But
the Rock
anyway,
and Roll Hall of Fame.
yeah, so we signed up for this. It was 100-degree day in Kansas City. It was an afternoon game. We go down into the tunnel where they have the everything set up, and we're standing there just sweating. I mean, just sweating. And out comes Lynn Dawson. And I'm like, holy shit, it's friggin' Lynn Dawson. So he's socializing with, I think there was only 30 of us in there, give or take. We were brought in just to be an audience to clap and make noise and, we that kind of thing.
Right.
But man, he was awesome. He spent a couple of minutes with each person that was down there, and he went right down the line. And, he got to me and I was like, nice to meet you, Mr. Dawson. Would you mind, signing my jersey? I've always been a fan of the Chiefs. I wish I could have seen you play in the Super Bowl. I was too young.
Right.
And he was great, man. He was dressed to the nines in a suit. He's like, you got your pen? I'm like, yep. He takes it and signs it and, says hi to the wife and just continues down the line, nothing but class, nothing but class. Right. The other time we saw him was in passing. We just waved and said Chiefs, and he's like, go Chiefs. Those were my two interactions with Lynn Dawson. And, obviously, that jersey is in the frame now.
Right.
But, I have nothing but good things to say. And, the way that he treated the fans of any team, not only the Chiefs, but any team was class. It's hard to lose someone of that caliber as a Chiefs fan. Or as a football fan for that matter. I look at all kinds of players that are, passing away, and I was like, man, that guy was awesome.
Right.
But I just wish the best for his family, and pray for a speedy recovery that they can move forward. But he will be missed by me, by you, by the entire Chiefs nation, by NFL football. Nothing. I don't know what else. I can keep rambling on about him for forever. Just because I thought he was a class act. Because don't get me wrong, I've met some players, ex-players, that are just a-holes.
Right.
Yeah. Class minus the CL.
So I mean, to meet someone, that won a Super Bowl and stuff like that, you meet some guy that didn't win shit and he thinks he's all that. So I've met both sides, so I can see where there's a class act versus just some stooge. So all the kudos to Len Dawson. I wish I would have been alive to see him play in person. But you know what? I can bring that 8mm out. We can watch Super Bowl 4.
One of these days we're gonna do it.
All right, before the end of the season, because I gotta see if my 8mm player is still working.
Gunner, do you have anything to say about Lynn?
Definitely, I've seen highlights, I've seen old footage, like everybody else, and I didn't know a whole lot about him. Obviously, I grew up in the Trent Green years, and I didn't know a whole lot about the Chiefs history wise. I've definitely know more now than I did then. So, like Phil said, I just hope the family has a speedy recovery and mourning and everything. So, yeah.
I think I will add. I hope the Chiefs, Red Fridays are coming up. Maybe they'll rename it. Lynn Dawson's Red Friday, or some kind of tribute like that would be kind of cool.
Maybe we'll change it from Red Friday to Len Friday.
Lynn Dawson Friday. Yeah, I'm all in. I mean, he deserves it,
Oh, I agree. I agree.
And Chiefs, have you heard this first here? Talk to me.
See you at tailgate with our
yeah.
With our Len Friday flags. We should
Len Friday. It is Len Friday.
But I can't wait to see, after all this passes, how he's memorialized and special events that we'll do in his honor, to remember his memory will be special every single year. I just can't wait to see what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So hoorah.
Hoorah.
All right. Well, let's end on that. Kind of a sad ending to
So a little
tonight's Indians.
solemn
Yeah.
ending to
Yeah.
Well, but no, it's good. I mean,
yeah.
it's good memories, like you said, you met a man that is, as a Chiefs fan, you looked up to from the history and
Yeah.
everything. For me, it was the HBO show. It was listening to him do commentary on Sirius.
Yeah.
You knew who he was, and he always, like you said, he always had respect for all the teams that he was,
Mhm.
that he was commentating or whatever, whoever we were playing. And yeah, just a stand-up guy. So yeah, there's a lot of good memories, a lot of great memories of, you have better memories than I do. I mean, I just listened to him on the radio or watched him on TV.
I'll be honest, I was fortunate that we didn't know he was going to be in there. We had no clue.
Right.
So, him and Willie Lanier, so, we met them both at the same time. And my wife looked at Willie and said, "Who are you?"
I probably would have.
87 is a full life to live. I mean, that is still, that's awesome. And
no, I agree. And I think the irony behind, being inducted into the Hall of Fame in 87. I'm one of those people that think like that also.
Yeah.
So it's weird. But yeah, rest in peace, man.
Right on.
Yeah, for
sure. All right, well, let's get out of here. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming and talking some Chiefs football with me. You know how much I love to talk Chiefs. So,
hey, Jeremy, look to the left.
My left, your left.
I think your left.
You
move your head to the left. Oh, is that Cleveland dude?
Wow. Because of my beard?
The drunk Cleveland guys right outside your window.
Looking in my window?
Dude looks like a yak.
Sorry, I had to throw a little bit of humor in. Ending on
now
that.
You got me looking out my window. Hold on.
Ending on that.
Is that a yak?
Is that a yak?
Oh. This is
And now,
the homeless man from the Cleveland Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
He did email Gunner and ask for your address.
Oh, that was so nice.
Yeah, send that. Hey, homeless man at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If you're listening to the Indiana Chiefs Fans Pod, just send us an email. I'll send you the address. It's inchiefsfanspodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, it's terrible.
I got a bus ticket, Jeremy's address, a half pack of smokes, and a pint of vodka. I'm good.
And
hey, buddy.
This bottle with urine in it.
Buddy, you're only 4 hours away. You can make it pretty quick.
Oh man. All right, sorry. I digress.
All right, smarty pants, Chico noise. Take us on out of here.
Everybody, thank you for listening to the Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, anywhere else you get your podcast. You can also check us out on Facebook. That is facebook.com/INChiefsFansPod. Go on there. If you see our posts every week, we do have our social media girl that posts for us and puts up some awesome pictures, and she just designed some really great posts on there. Comment on those
Thank you,
posts.
Alicia.
Yes, comment on those posts. Let us know how we're doing, and if you want to share your favorite Chiefs memory, put it on there. Or you can send your favorite Chiefs memory, your favorite memory of Len Dawson, your favorite thing that's happened in the preseason to inchiefsfanspodcast@gmail.com.
Or if you just want to tell Phil he's full of shit, go ahead.
Yeah.
INChiefsFans.
So Jeremy, I do think I did send you the picture of Len Dawson and I believe
I do,
like
yes,
a couple of weeks ago, if you want to throw that on Facebook.
Yeah,
the
for
Facebook
sure.
page
Yeah.
or something. Yeah. That's what it looked like. Oddly enough.
Hey Len, you want to hold this for me?
Here, hold this for me.
I think I gave you I gave you two. Me giving him the pen and then him signing my jersey.
Yeah.
So
I got a really nice one of just a memorial that they put out. I just grabbed it off of Facebook a little bit ago that I'll have up there too. So yeah, we'll get that put on there.
Just to prove we're not full of shit. I mean, not on this subject at least.
Yeah.
So
True that. Sorry, Gunner. Go ahead.
No, you're good. And while you're checking out the Indiana Chiefs Fans podcast, you get finished with an episode, need something else to listen to. Well, the Emperor has plenty of other podcasts you can go check out, whether that be the Call Guys podcast at facebook.com/the Call Guys pod, Golden Image podcast at facebook.com/Golden Image podcast, the Murdnerds podcast at facebook.com/Murdnerds, or TUSOP, the United States of Paranormal, at facebook.com/the United States of Paranormal. You can get all of those podcasts wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever.
Anywhere, everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, Apple
Oh.
Podcasts, Amazon Music, Podbean, Stitcher. They're everywhere. We are everywhere. And I think Golden J mentioned this before, but TUSOP, congratulations on 10,000 downloads. That's an amazing
Hoorah.
feat. And they're still climbing, so.
Yep,
Awesome.
we're over 11 now.
Yep. So that means lottie dottie, every damn body, go watch you some podcasts or listen.
Yep.
That's right. And Indiana Chiefs fans and the Call Guys are on YouTube. Just go and search for us, and you can find us on YouTube and watch our ugly mugs on there. So
I'm adorable. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just make sure,
I try to be.
just make sure you type in the right YouTube. Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. Hey, don't forget to rate and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And just
Yes.
remember, you rate and review, it helps us out. It actually, we get a chance to look at it and see how you're liking what we're doing. If you don't like it, give me a 1-star. If you do like it, give me a 5-star. But leave a comment and tell me why.
Just
And-
don't compare me to Jeremy. Give me 5.
Yeah, yeah. Just comment 5 stars to Phil.
So I
And the
guess
homeless
that'll-
guy from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
He's
so
got
I guess
that.
that'll be if you average it out 2.5.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Oh,
Also, subscribe, everything on YouTube. We would love for everybody to watch the podcast also.
Yeah, some of the faces that we make.
Mine's mostly just a blank stare.
And whenever he's ready, if he's listening, that's right, Colton. Whenever you're ready and want to get on here and talk some Nagy, get on here and we'll talk some Nagy.
I was gonna mention that episode 2 of the franchise has a really great interview with Nagy, and he sits down and talks about the quarterbacks and how the relationships he has with them, and it's a really good interview. And Nagy seems like a super down to earth guy, and he definitely is a good coach. I mean, what can you do with the Bears? that's all I gotta say.
yeah, I think we talked about that before, but I know we're at the end here. We might also have another guest on the next episode. So
Yeah, and I might be in for a little bit towards
Yep.
the end. So
Yeah, old Chico's got to go off on some work-related business, so he'll be out in Pennsylvania for a week. So we'll get dialed in, and hopefully he can jump in when he has a little bit of time. And
maybe I'll
when
stop in Cleveland.
pick up the homeless guy. There you go.
oh my gosh.
You'll find him. He's right outside the front doors of the Cleveland Stadium. He's wearing a number 6.
I was gonna say. I was gonna
He's
say.
like,
it, but
and you know what?
beat
He can't think of. He cannot remember what the entry code is.
Yeah, you can't remember the entry code.
Hey, which by the way, he is the starter for week
Yes,
1.
they did name
Okay.
him the starter for week 1. Yep. Congratulations, Baker Mayfield.
He's awesome.
He is. I love Baker. I think he took a raw end of the deal in Cleveland.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm happy to see he beat out Sam Darnold.
Yeah, he was
And-
the Rams before, right?
No, he
Rams
was the
or-
Jets. He was with the Jets, wasn't he?
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
anyway.
I'll have to look it up.
Anyway, doesn't matter. It's not the Chiefs.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. All right, from our little slice of Chiefs Kingdom right here in the great state of Indiana, I just got one thing to say. Are you boys ready? How about those Chiefs? Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.